that today is the day. Is Wellness Wednesday. We're in the midst of, well, I'm sharing it. I hope some of you are joining me in this 40-day challenge. Every 40 days, for those of you joining for the first time, we are adding to a set of goals that by the end of the year, we will have accomplished some great things with ourselves, right? I'm on this journey and I'm sharing it with you. The first 40 days ended for me February 11th, because I kicked off January 1st. February 11th was the first 40-day completion. And my goals for the first 40 days was to lose some weight. I had a goal of 10 pounds in 40 days. I wanted to read 3 books and I wanted to write every day because I'm getting back into the flow of writing. And so I'm going to tell you how I did and my goals. And I'm going to put out the number because I would love to hear what you guys, and there's no pressure here because this is a personal journey, right? I'm sharing it as kind of like a demonstration of what it looks like, but it's very personal, what I want to get done this year. And in order to get it done, I realized that I need to do it in little bite-sized chunks. There are several books on, 12-week work year, and there's a lot of books out there that kind of, guide you into how to get this done. There is, it takes 21 to 28 days to, end a habit and start a new one. So I'm like 40 days, 40 nights, Moses, Jesus in the wilderness, 40 days, keeps propping up a lot. Mount Sinai, the 10 Commandments, 40 days. So I'm thinking 40 days is a good amount of time. And I think I'm right. So the first 40 days, and there's no failure because, when you shoot for the moon, you don't reach the moon sometimes, but you grab a bunch of stars along the way. That's also a win, I think. So I didn't lose 10 pounds. I lost 2. And, but my body fat, because here's what I also committed as part, because you got to have a goal and then how am I going to achieve the goal? So, I had to figure some things out. I use these 40 days to figure out, what's working for me. My body's changing as I get older. The things that worked in my 20s and 30s and even 40s and not working for me in the 50s. I'm like, I used to be able to, just get out there and it's like drop, I can fast one day and drop 3 pounds. I can't do that now. This is the body that I'm going to be in for the rest of my life. And as you know, I said I'm going to be here 120 years because it's promised. So I'm like, but I want to be here healthy. I want to be here hunched over. I want to be here with somebody mistreating me in some home or, having to wipe my behind. I need to be able to run, jump, and play, which is why I got both of my knees replaced now, and I'm being gentle with them because these got to last. And if, hopefully they come up with bionic technology in another 10 years, I'll do it again. Because I'm not going to be at anybody's mercy. I need to be free until I decide I'm going to take a nap and not wake up. That's my goal. But you got to write it down. You got to figure out how I'm going to get there. How do I get to 120 years healthy? Well, yes, I gave myself a good start with, cutting out meat and fried foods and things, because when I got my gallbladder taken out in my 30s, no one told me why it even happened. The doctors didn't tell me. They just removed it. You don't need it. Yes, I need it. I needed those. My tonsils, everything you took from my body was necessary, or God wouldn't have put it in there just because my body can function. But you're not now telling me how my body needs to function without these organs. And it's all connected. And then why am I overtaxing my liver? No. So I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm not eating meat. I'm going to put myself in it and I'm not missing anything like football. As a matter of fact, I feel good, not sluggish. And my cholesterol is 138 and my blood pressure has never been high as a result of how I've chosen to conduct myself on this earth. Now, whatever you want to do, that's your business. This is not an indictment. Do you? And here's the thing. I had a great grandmother who dipped snuff every day, lived to be 90 something. I had a grandfather that smoked until he had lung cancer, still smoked through the lung cancer. He was 85. He died from pneumonia because the house that he built, that he lived in by himself until he was 85 in Charleston, Somerville, South Carolina, was drafty. And he had cancer. And so he expired, but he smoked every day and drank too. Wow. I won't even say like a sailor or a fish, but I think he might've been an alcoholic, but that's another story for another day. That said, cat luck ain't dog luck. And I'm not testing it just because in my genes, I've had a grandmother that smoked and drank and left here before she turned 50, 51 or 52. So that doesn't, matter, whether it runs in your family. What runs in your family are our habits. So that's what I'm leaning into. Both my parents had high blood pressure. My dad till he died. My mom has it now, and I do not. And I've exceeded all of the markers health wise that I should have because I made choices. So some of it's genetic. A lot of it might be epigenetic, but we do have control because we're free. We're free people. So we have choices. So I didn't lose the 10 pounds. I lost 2, but I'm carrying the 8 over for the next 40 days. So now I'm being gentle on myself. I'm not going to add to it. I'm going to get them 8 off because that's the process, right? What I'd learned, though, is, I tried. So the first couple of weeks, I'm like, I'm going to eat whatever I want. And let's see what happens. Well, what happened was I gained 2 pounds. So I'm actually down net 4 because I gained 2 pounds because I was like, let me see. Maybe, because homeostasis, maybe I could just eat what I've been eating. No, I had to do something different. So then the next week, I'm like, let me write down everything I'm eating. And then the next week, let me eliminate some things, one thing from my diet. Then I had this lady on that I fought with who had a whole book about not eating beets and beetroots and kale and spinach and almonds. And I was like, she's crazy because she's eating pigs' faces and stuff. And I'm like, nah, I don't believe it. But then I was like, let me go research these oxalates. Let me see how. Wait a minute. She might be onto something. Okay. So in the final 2 weeks, I cut out almonds. And I had been having some back pains, some lower back pains, but I thought that was due to the exercises that I was doing. But no, I think it had to do with that toxic food. Sally K. Norton might be right. Now, I'm still not going to be eating pigs, their faces or their heads. Thank you, lady. Nope, not doing that. But she might be on to something with these oxalates crystallizing in my system. So I'm good now. Now, instead of eating 2 bags of almonds a week, I haven't had any in the last 2 weeks. And I may just put like maybe a crushed bit of it on my oatmeal next week. I don't know. But this is what I'm incorporating for the next 40 days in terms of my diet and exercise, because I got to get 8 pounds off now because I didn't do it in the first 40 days. But I'm not going to treat myself bad. I love me. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to intermittent fast these next 40 days. And I want to see what that does. Because this is all about really knowing yourself. Some of you have the luxury of being a part of this community in your 20s and 30s, which means you have a long time to really get in tune with the things that make you tick, both mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. We're going to talk about emotions today on the show. Some of us arrive at it later in life. Some of us arrive at this, let me sit with my body. Let me sit with me and see what it is that makes me tick, what makes me happy, what brings me joy, what works and what doesn't work, because we're individuals. So, while Sally K. Norton could eat pig head every day, pork, bacon, and all of that, Karen Hunter cannot. No, because that will impact my cholesterol and it will definitely impact my blood pressure. And I'm not doing that. But the oxalates with the spinach, which I used to put in my smoothies every day, could be problematic. And the large quantities of almonds that I ate probably was a problem for my body, because anything too much is, the food becomes poison. So I was like, all right, so this is what I did the first 40 days. And my goal is to get my body fat between 22 and 25%. I can carry weight because I'm 5'10", but it's the body fat. So it's not about the scale as much. So my body fat is closer to getting under. So this next 40 days, I need to be firmly under 30% fat. Body fat, need to be that. So that's all. And I'll check back in with you on, March 22nd, if we're on the air. We had a lot going on last week with being in the studio and having live shows and stuff that I, and then trying to rush out of there and not catch COVID, I wanted to really sit with this, which I did. As I mentioned, get in shape. So 10,000 steps was on the table. And I'm really, really happy to report that I've done 10,000 steps minimum for the last 76 days. And what that has done, first of all, I've been outside every single day. So my routine, get up, walk, go out in nature, I don't care whether it's cold, whether it's warm. Today was supernaturally warm and I'm nervous about it, but I was like, oh, I saw tulips. Y'all ain't supposed to be up yet. With the tulips coming through. Y'all, don't believe the hype. No, this weather ain't right, y'all. I'm like, no, tulips, go back. If it snows, you're gonna die. So I'm out talking to the birds and the squirrels and the tulips, and and it does something for my mental because I didn't realize this. This is something I've never done in my entire life. Walk every day in nature. But it does something to the mind. It really does. It is something really powerful. And I'm listening to, books. So I get that in. I'm listening to music. Today was, I'm gonna get to what I listen to later because I have something to talk to you about. So movement. So this next 40 days, I've upped it to 10.5 steps a day. So far, yesterday I did 10.7 steps. I'm getting it in no matter what. I don't care if I'm tired. If I got to walk in circles around my house, I walk in circles around my house. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm like, I got 200 more steps. Let me go in a circle around my kitchen. Oh, Jesus. But, this is forcing me up and out so I can get the majority of them. So right now let me tell you how many steps I have. I have 8,000 steps, 8,062 steps already because I walked twice today because it got even warmer from the morning. So I was like, let me go back out and get these steps in so I'm not stressed after I get off the air and have to walk circles around my kitchen. And so what I added today and what I'm going to add for the next 40 days is weight training. So the first 40 days, let me just get moving, make that a habit. Let me just get up and out, make that a habit, which I've done. And now this morning, I got up 15 minutes earlier and did some weights, did some weight training, some sit-ups, did all that before I went out. Now, if Cicely Tyson could do 60 push-ups a day well into her 90s, and Ernestine Shepherd, who is now 86 years old, is still lifting weights, running marathons and bodybuilding, Karen Hunter could get her ass out, do 10,500 steps a day. That's all. And do weight training for 15 minutes. I think I didn't even put in 15 minutes. And that's all I'm doing. And it's going to be enough because we have to love ourselves. So I'm going at my pace. Some of y'all, maybe that's not enough. For some of y'all, it's too much. Don't compare yourself to what anyone else is doing. I'm only sharing because I feel like we don't talk enough about the things that we're doing. I feel like we do not talk to one another. I feel like we act like we got the Rosetta Stone of life and we're going to keep it to ourselves. No, this knowledge is to be shared. That's what community is for. Something that I'm saying right now could free somebody. I don't know who needs to hear this today, but I'm going to share. So get into shape. I didn't fail. I didn't reach the goal that I set for myself, but maybe the goal was unreasonable. So carry it over for the next 40 days. Read 3 books. This was easy because I probably do that anyway, but I want to make sure that I write it down. All right. So the 3 books that I read, the first one was The Coming by Dr. Daniel Black. And that was an amazing experience because I got to read that book in an Africana Studies class that's taught by Dr. Greg Carr in Nubia with thousands of other people. So we got to read the book, communicate with one another in the live chat, also coming in, asking questions. And then we got to talk to the author. And it was such an empowering conversation with Dr. Daniel Black that I invited him on the Karen Hunter Show. And then he's coming back. He'll be back next week because I'm like this. And then he's going to be in Nubia teaching a course on religion and African spirituality because this book was, woo. I was like, do I want to read it? Yes, yes. My whole perspective. And there's something to be said, which is why I love book clubs. If you are in one, that's great because it's not about, and some of y'all, do it the way the social structure likes to do things, in a very, very, erudite and with their notebooks. And I think that, no, it's about knocking the crust off of your humanity and your spirit by communing with other people around the written word or the spoken word. And in this case, I read this book with my eyeballs. But there's some books that I listen to and that counts, but it's a different experience. And I'm just like, to be in community reading and then asking questions of one another, not to be an authority because none of us are. And then to get to talk with authors. Come on, this is going to get better than that. My second book, which I've been talking about, which I didn't even know because I'm trying to be healthier. I thought this was a book about inflammation. So I'm like, oh, Inflamed. Let me download Inflamed. I didn't read the subtitle. It was in my, my Audible, whatever. And the subtitle is Deep Medicine and the Anatomy of Injustice. I missed that part. I'm like, deep medicine. Okay, bet. It's by Dr. Rupa Maraya, who will be on the show at some point. We've invited her, and Raj Patel. All right. I listen to this every morning when I walk. I'm done with it now. I finished the book last week. What's today? Wednesday. Finished it on Sunday or Monday. And I was like, yo, this was the book I didn't know I needed to read. Everything. I'm not even going, I've been talking about it, dropping stuff. I'm going to try to find clips that I can pull through because there's so much in this book, so much from criminal justice reform to how we are out of balance with the earth, how colonization has completely destroyed all systems from the fungi to how we are even supposed to commune with the sun, the trees, and all. Like, it's all one ecosystem and we're part of it. We are not separate from it, no more so than our fingers are separate from our heart, like everything, or our brain. Everything moves in concert. Like I said, my tonsils and my gallbladder, my liver were supposed to work in concert. Now I'm missing 2 of those 3 organs. That can't be good. So I got to now do something to make up for it. And at some point, you lose enough organs and you won't be able to make up for it. So you got to, double down, those of you missing organs and stuff. That said, this book is everything.